Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today, we will be learning something about the decile and the percentile and how to get them or solve for their values. And as you have noticed in the screen, I have here um, three horizontal bars, which will show us connection between or among each one of them. Okay, let's start first with quartile. If you will go back to our discussion last week, when you say quartile, how many parts are we dividing a given set of data? How many parts should the given set of data be divided? Kindly type your answer in the chat box. Let me see if you can still remember from the word itself. Quartile. Quartile. How many parts are there? There are 4. Very good. So dividing them into 4, here, there's the first one. And then we have the second one. And then we have the third one. And that's the reason why we have 3 quartiles, because there are 3 divisions that make up the 4 parts of the given set of data, right? So we have here, this is first quartile, quartile 1. We have our second quartile, or what we also call as the median, meaning that is the median, the mean, or the not the mean. Median is the middlemost value of our given set of data. And then we also have our third quartile. Ayan. So we also are familiar with all this. This is 25%. This is also 25% because it's divided into 4. 25% and 25%. Now, that was last week. Let's move on now with our decile. Decile, from the word itself. Decile. Decile. How many divisions are there in this set of data? When we say data, how many parts will there be when we are talking about decile? Sige nga, make an intellectual guess. For example, in the metric system, we have decimeter, decameter, and how many divisions are there when we use the keyword deca, decile. Very good. Divided into 10 parts with 9 divisions. Very good. That's correct. And so we will have here the middlemost. Of course, we always have the middlemost. And the middlemost will always be our what? That will always be our, what's the middlemost? Median. Very good. So similar with quartile, let me change this to quartile. Quantile yung nalagay natin kanina because the introductory video, some countries use quantile instead of quartile. But since in our subject, in our discussion, we use quartile, let's just stick with that. Okay? For the decile, the middlemost value will be our median. And same. And what do you think is the number of decile for the median? That is, what's the middlemost decile? That is the 5th decile. Very good. D5. And so your classmates said a while ago, there are 9 deciles. Correct. And so when we do this, there will be 9 deciles that we need to, what? Here. Here. There will be 4 other divisions here. Let's divide this into 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. So this will be the first decile, the second decile, the third decile, and the fourth decile. Yan. Similarly, for um, our deciles after the median, those will be there will be 4 deciles as well, and they will be our 6th to 9th deciles. Okay, there you go. So this will be D6, D7 or 7th decile, 8th decile, and the 9th decile. Okay? So if we will look at the quartile and the decile, the median have the same value. So therefore, when you are computing for decile, and whichever method you follow for the median of the quartile or median of the decile, you will just arrive at the same value, because the second quartile and the fifth decile are just the same, and they are just the same median. Show me a reaction if you understood that process or that concept. Very good. So this gives you flexibility in your computations. Though you are computing for decile, if you found computing for the median of the quartile easier process, you can follow that. Okay, that's not a problem. Just make sure that at the end you have to make the correct conclusion. That if you are solving for decile and you solve the deciles median, and then you solve the median using the quartile, you just have to note it properly at the end for the proper conclusion. Okay? And finally, for the percentile, what do you think is the number of, or into how many parts should this now set of data be divided when we talk about percentile? Oh, this time that's very easy. Percent. Okay. And the answer is 100% or 100 percentile. Very good. So there are 100 parts for this. Similarly, just like what was presented a while ago, here, of course, your 50th percentile, is just the same with what? Your 50th percentile is just the same with what? Type it in the chat box, please. To which value or to which one is 50th percentile just the same? Very good. So the 50th percentile is just the same with the median of the decile and the median of the quartile. Got it? Show me a reaction if that's clear. Very good. Pare-pareho lang yun. They're just the same. Okay? Now, looking at wait lang. Ayan. Looking at our third quartile, what do you think is the percentile of the quartile 3? What do you think is the percentile of quartile 3? Type it in the chat box. We all know that its quartile here is 25, 25, and 25. So when we got quartile 3, that is what percentile? Very good. That's 75% of the data. And that's P75. And it's just the same with the third quartile. Got it? Kasi parehong 3/4 yung kanilang measurement sa data. Got it? Another. What if we have here this value? Okay. And this will be of the same value for the first quartile. What percentile are we referring to when we say the first quartile? What percentile are we referring to when we mean or when we say the first quartile? Very good. So this is P25. 25 or the 25th percentile, which shows 25% of the data. Okay? And we all know this already. If we are taking this into consideration, it only means that the 25% of those involved in the data got lower scores or lower number as compared to the P25 or the 25th percentile. On the other hand, 75% of the class then or of the group of data shows greater value than that of the P25 or the 25th percentile. Got it? And since this is divided into 100, there will be 100 more divisions here, which I cannot show you anymore because it will be quite a lot. Oh, however, I want you to focus on this one. If I will connect decile and percentile here, this one. Okay. If I will connect decile and percentile, this one, the first decile is equivalent to what percentile? The first decile is equivalent to what percentile? Type it in the chat box, please. I would like to see if you can analyze this given. Very good. That's equivalent to 10% of the data or the 10th percentile. Very good. What about this? What about if we will have this, the sixth decile is equivalent. The sixth decile is equivalent to what percentile? Very good. P60 or the 60th percentile. Very good. What about the ninth decile? It is equivalent to what percentile? Sixth decile. Very good. So that is the 90th percentile. Simply showing that do not be afraid to forget formulas of percentile. For example, if you are looking for the 90th percentile and you forgot the formula for the P90, then you can just go back to 9th decile and then solve for the value. Because 9th decile and 90th percentile are just the same. And they just mean from this point to this point, that's just 90%. Similarly, this is equivalent to 90% of your data. Got it? Show me a reaction if that's clear. The interrelationship of these three concepts are clear. Let me see. Very good. So that's it. That's how we understand quartile, decile, and percentile, taking into consideration that the middlemost value, the second quartile, the fifth decile, and the 50th percentile are just the same, and we mean the median or the middlemost value. Got it? Got it, John? Show me a reaction, please, if everything is clear regarding that. Very good. Okay. Nice. So we shall now continue. This simply means that whatever we did last week will just be the same now. Pareho lang. We have our ungrouped and the grouped set of data. Okay, so pare-pareho lang. Just that it will just vary with the formulas, just like what was mentioned in the introductory video a while ago. There are different ways to solve for these values. So do not be afraid if there will be a little difference with the answer, especially when we are dealing with small set of numbers. Kapag konti lang yung set of data natin, just like what we are dealing with for the ungrouped data, yun, usually there are slight differences. There will really be differences, but don't be afraid. Don't feel bad about that. because that's just normal. Pero it becomes better and the answers become similar when the set of data becomes bigger. Similarly, when we do the grouped data. Okay, so what we will be doing here is just similar to what we did last week. So parang review lang siya. Just that we will be dealing with different formulas now, especially with the decile and the percentile. Okay? Show me a reaction if you are ready to move on to the real process in solving this. Okay. Thank you so much. So let's now have this. Let me clear this canvas. Okay, thank you. So in here, we will just be using this set of formulas, and which these are very easy to follow. Okay, let's have first the deciles of ungrouped data. Ungroup muna tayo. Here. For a while. I guess, Eric, you mentioned last time, no, that we already have our pairing. I hope that by this time we are. Wait lang, just setting up the background. Is our pair for the opening? Okay, so let's start with the deciles of ungrouped data. And we will just be following these formulas for us to be guided. So since according to your classmates a while ago, for the deciles, there are actually 10 deciles. So each decile has its own formula. But don't worry, they are just the same with the rest. Okay, so what's this? If you are solving for the first decile, you will get the n plus 1 over 10th times 1 data. 1 times the first times 1 times n plus 1 over 10th item. And that's that will be the value. And so how will this be? Let's have this as an example. Here. So for example, we have this set of data. 30, 12, 10. Wait, let me put also this. Okay, so that we are guided and we know which decile are we solving for. Here. So calculate the second and the sixth decile for the following set of scores of 11 students. So the scores of these 11 learners are 30, 12, 10, 16, 18, 24, 29, 27, 22, 14, and 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so there are 11. First step, just like what we did in the quartiles, we have to arrange the items first. We have to arrange the numbers first from least to greatest. So we have here 10, 14, 15. Oh, I forgot the 12. Sorry. 12, 14. Kindly correct me if I'm wrong, if ever I missed a number. 16, 18, and then 22, 24, 27, 29, and 30. That's it. That's the first step. We need to arrange the set of data ascendingly. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's it. And after that, since we are solving for the second and the sixth decile, we will be using the formula for the second decile. Actually, they are just the same. The n plus 1 over 10th here. And then the 2 here varies the number of decile that we are solving. So if we are solving for the second decile, we use 2. If we are solving for the sixth decile, we use 6 here instead of 2. Got it? So this is just easy. Let's do this now. So all we have to do here is to substitute. So we will have here 2 times, the n is 11 because there are 11 set of data. 11 plus 1 over 10. And then TH, meaning we are looking for that number of item. Okay? So this will be equal to 11 plus 1 divided by 10. The answer is, kindly press it in your calculator. And then times 2. 11 plus 1, that's 12. 12 divided by 10. What's the answer? And then multiply it by 2. Get your calculators. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, very good. 2.4, correct. I hope your classmates are also trying to solve this. 2.4. 2.4 item. So that's what we are solving here. So this is the next process after getting that number of term. So remember to get the 2, the second. So therefore, this will become 2. The second item is 12. There. So this will be equal to 12 times 0.4. Actually, the point 4 here is actually 0.4. This is 0.4 kasi from 2.4 that's 0.4. Can you follow? Therefore, what we will be doing here is multiply 0.4 plus ito, plus 0.4 times, we need to subtract these two numbers kasi somewhere here in between yung hinahanap natin. This is our second decile actually. So it's 2.4. This is 1. This is 2.4. Somewhere over here. Pero wala tayong value doon. So that's what we will be solving. Kaya siya meron siyang ganito. So what we will do next here is 0.4 times, you need to subtract these two values. So we have 14 minus 12. Oh, kindly press this in the calculator, everyone. Press it in the calculator and type the answer in the chat box. Okay, let's wait for the rest. Let's wait for the rest. Very good. Okay, more. I need more answers from you. Oops. Press your answers properly in the calculator. Sa merong ibang classmates yung sumusobra. Oh, 14 minus 2 is just 2. 2 times 0.4 is what? And then you add 12. Actually, 14 minus 12 is 2. 2 times 0.4 is 0.8. Add it, so that becomes 12.8. So 12.8 is your second decile. Show me a reaction if that process is clear. Okay, very good. Gets na? O, ganun lang. Tapos na. So therefore, our second decile here, it's 2.4. Somewhere over here, let's use this magical pen here. 2.4. This is the second decile, which is equal to 12.8, meaning all the learners, there are 20% of learners who scored lower than 12.8. So for our interpretation, there are second decile is actually 20%. 20% of the learners who scored lower than 12.8. Got it? That's it. Now, this time is the sixth decile. For the sixth decile, instead of the 2 here, we will be changing it to the sixth. We will be using the sixth decile. Okay, so everybody, let's do this. For the sixth decile, we just have to multiply 6 here. Sige nga. By substituting, what will be the number of item for the sixth decile? Press it in the calculator, please. 11 plus 1 over 10. Type it in the chat box when you're done. Okay, let's wait for the rest. Okay. Let's wait for the rest. Okay. The rest, please press in the calculator. Okay, good. So the answer here will be 7.2 wet. I don't know how to read this in decimal form. Basta